Okay, so now that October is almost over, I can't believe I've been back for a month.
I
Can you
can't even.
believe that?
Time has flown. I think this is the fastest flowing month yet.
I know it is. So, would you, and then October was all about just having patience, which I really felt like I would always remind myself of what you said because I've felt like I've been wanting things to happen faster than they are. So, what do you,
Yeah, we all feel that.
yeah.
Well, you know, as we roll into November, we're going to feel like we've been saved somehow, and maybe we have in some way. It does feel like some divine guidance comes down, but it's just a breather. We're just needing to pull back and lick our wounds and rest and regroup because the fight is still on and the interference is still there and in a big way, and we all have to just, I think we've come out of that patience place of patience, and now we just really need to rest. We all need a rest, a good rest this month, and because the interference is still there, we're needing just to pull back a little bit to get ready for it again by the end of the month.
Around, around like election or after
Probably,
election.
yeah. That's going to be after election. It's
Yeah.
going to be after election. We're going to be resting. Election comes, and for a lot of us, that's we kind of feel um, somehow like we've been saved from something. For a lot of us, we're going to feel that way, and like I said, that may be. Yet we're just taking a breather. A natural breather is going to happen, and we're all just going to make the best of that in November and get ready for more interference. I think when we have no influence and no control over what's happening on the outside of our world, that's really still the time to bring our resources home and um, sharpen our blades if that's what we're needing to do. But we need to rest and regroup and take charge of those things that we can take charge of, right? Um, our businesses, our finances, ourselves. Take care of ourselves and our families, our monies. We do these things that keep us feeling secure through the month. So those are the things we'll need to be focusing on.
So, starting with self and home and all the things that we can control.
Things that we do have control over: our establishment, our finances, our businesses, our families, and our homes.
Hmm.
Because that just really reminds us of what we can do, and it strengthens us. It doesn't weaken us.
Okay.
What do you? What's up for you in November? Are you planning anything at all? Do you?
I'm I would like to. I would like to be moving maybe, you know.
So things are up in the air for you, but um, I think I think probably your move won't happen quite yet. It might
Mm.
happen more like December or January, because right now is really a time to nestle back into our own selves, our own families, and gather our resources.
Mhm. Like clean my house and get rid of stuff and prepare for what I want.
Rest, rest your minds, rest your worries, rest any fears, and trust. Yeah,
Yeah.
really a time to rest. I think a lot of us are, especially in North America, are so worked up. So we can take that time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost a sigh of relief in a way for a lot of us. So it's going to be quiet. It's going to be a quiet month.
That's good.
And
It's probably what we need.
I think so. I think we're all needing to you know, turn inward and heal and rest.
Okay.
You see how that can fit into your November?
Yeah, I do. I think just knowing I think that just knowing what I need to focus on, or maybe even collectively what they can focus their attention to is helpful, right? Because then you're not thinking that you should be farther along than you are.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, as we move into December, right away, there's still going to be the feeling of that interference, out and out obstruction, really, in the beginning of December. Um, and with that comes worry, great worry, for a lot of us, and with that worry comes fear, and so a lot of people will be expressing that, expressing their feelings and their truths, and calling what they see, calling a spade, and telling it like it is for them, and a lot of that will start to go on, and it's a good thing. It's not a negative thing, because it's it's made of the kind of stuff that creates change, and change is on the way. Endings are coming. It's almost like old ways of establishment, or even of ways of being with ourselves in our homes or with our families, where change is here. It's inevitable. And I think this is just December. We're going to experience the part of change that where voices matter. Um, it's not always going to be pleasant, because there's the worry and fear involved, or the worry and just the obstruction. And I think that kind of happens. The fear and the voice gets louder when we have that kind of obstruction.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
If for people that are,
I'm
sorry, for people that are feeling the fear and the worry, and they're like, yes, that's me. What would you say would be helpful to just keep it under wraps so that it doesn't become an explosive thing that takes over what they're trying, like how they're relating, you know? Does that make sense?
Well, yes, and I think remembering that everything changes, and that this is going to change and pass.
Yep.
And also, I do see that at the end of December, for a lot of us, we're going to feel like the cards are in our favor, that we've been handed some fortune, that the tables have turned for some of us, or the tides are. And really, with that comes patience, a lot more patience, because change doesn't happen overnight. But what's been set out towards the end of December, what I'm sensing is getting laid out, is new establishments and new grounds are being broken, that are going to make for better fortune for all of us. So the intentions are getting set, and they're good. And with those good intentions, it's kind of like, okay. And then the tide changes, right? But that just change takes time. So
Mm-hmm.
while good intentions go out with the tide, we don't really know how it's going to rush in.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll look at that a little bit. Um, Yeah, so a lot of December still holds that obstruction and and worry. But I also see it by the end of the month, things getting more righted, more the feeling of, okay, things are going to really move now in a better direction for all of us. So that's going to be there at the end of the month. And I think so keep your sights on that
Mm-hmm.
as we pass through worry. I think for some of us it'll be like a rug gets pulled right out from underneath, and then because it comes unexpected and it's a bit of a shock, some things, but for others, for most of us, I think that the change and the shock is going to be something of a blessing, somewhat of a blessing.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the clash of beliefs is definitely still there. And while we had a little break and a little breather in November and December, it seems to get activated again for good reason, and everybody says their piece, and then it seems to end better. I think by the end of the month, we all have a greater sense of not just control over our own lives, but maybe it's a bit of an illusion, but we have a sense that maybe there's some control that is working in our favor out there beyond us. January, we're really needing, um, what is this? The steering wheel. We're really needing to keep our eyes peeled on our path as we walk through January. And it'll be, it'll be like fencing. It'll be like um, one wrong move and it's all over. It'll be like we have to strategize everything we do and everything we think about is all about how to do it so we don't get a backlash. So walking around eggshells and careful thinking before you say it and before you do something, to see, it's like fencing. You're you're constantly on the lookout to keep yourself safe.
Okay, so just don't be too rash with anything.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, strategizing takes a lot of energy and a lot of work. You have to remain so aware and so focused and so present in order that things go smoothly, which I do see that. For those who don't take those precautions and strategize through the month around everything, they may encounter uh, some bad shots. But for those who are strategizing and careful, joys and good things come, you know.
Okay.
So that's the thing for January. Let's see what else I have.
So because like for people they're like, okay, January, I need to be really careful about what I'm doing. But then how do you keep the fine line between being careful and then being too careful where you're like just letting your fears guide the way, because you don't want to not be careful.
Well, I think one of the things we can do so that doesn't, so it doesn't, things don't snowball into that, is to make peace with the defeats, to make peace with the things that just didn't quite go your way, and to know that, like, making peace with that part that happened the last month or two, or the last 6 months, is the first step for all this struggle to be water under the bridge. Really, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, big changes, good big changes coming. that's certainly one thing we can count on. And it's just that kind of thing is going to unfold very slowly. So for that, we do need a lot of patience. But January requires us to be exceptionally alert and aware.
Do you see more unity with, like, come the new year between people?
Well, I think that still everyone has their positions, and there's a lot of people wanting to actually be the king and be in charge and be the informer and be the one who knows. So we're still up against great big personalities. So it's a big presence. This, I know it's best. Let me tell you what I know. It's going to be a big presence, but and again, looking ahead, I always see that looking ahead. I mean, it's of course the way I'm speaking. You have to understand I'm clouded by the setbacks, but if I put them aside and just keep looking ahead, I do see that there's more unity coming.
Okay. So,
Again, this is something like what you're asking is still something that takes time. It's like putting the water on to boil. It doesn't boil like that. It takes an increment of time, and this will too. So this given like a 2-year period. I'm sitting here in 2 years' time, and I feel the unity. I feel more unity amongst us. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so for looking ahead, what's something that for people that are just feeling really stuck and like there's no hope, what is one thing that they can focus on moving forward, do you think?
The only thing is love. Really, it is self-love. There's nobody around to love. Love yourself. Take the best of care. You know, have those long baths and those just spa days or lazy days. Take care of yourself. Love others, because love is the answer. And a lot of people think that's silly or it's not really true, but it really is true. And I think remembering too that change. Remember, nothing stays the same, not for long. And that's both good and bad, right? Or good and sad. But it's true. I don't know a better way for people to pass the time than to mend their the things, as I was saying earlier, the defeats we've had, the failures we've had, the embarrassments, all that kind of thing. It's time to mend ourselves. It's time to forgive and mend our ways and make peace with ourselves. No matter how that is, make peace with it and love it. Love yourself. Forgive yourself, whatever it is. But I think when we focus on that, everything else softens.
Which is probably hard for some people to look at because they don't want to look at those parts of themselves, right? But they should.
So they can love their animal, or they can love to cook, or they can love their chore, or they can love their partner, whoever's there. But remember, we can only give as much love as we have embodied ourselves and given ourselves.
Yeah.
Little tiny things, movements that we make. Little tiny no I was thinking about that thing I sent you about the lady who learned the skill of blowing into the teapot with the tea and the tea shooting out into the
Mm,
cup. It doesn't matter what the skill is. Focus on something. Get determined and focus on a skill. Learn a language or something equivalent of that that takes focus and time and determination and patience. Because these are the very skills that we're supposed to be honing
mm-hmm.
for what's coming in the world. And that's why there's so much time on self and so much time on home and family.
Yeah,
To work out all these
this whole year, really.
everything that we don't like, that we see outside of ourselves that we don't like, bring it home and work on it and perfect it at home.
Yeah, that's powerful because so many people, I feel like, are looking to fix things that they don't have control over or fix things that they don't like instead of focusing it where they can.
Yeah,
All right. It's
there we
exciting.
have it.
It's like I'm
It
excited
is.
because I know,
Yeah.
I feel like, and I don't know if other people can relate, but it's like this whole year has been, I've enjoyed it actually, but I feel like there has been a lot of just things happening, but like nothing's changing, kind of like things are just, and there's no sight to like when things are going to change. So just
Yeah.
knowing that there is change is exciting.
We're in it. We're in the middle of the change, so it's hard to see, but you just keep going every day. We just move forward with some task, something,
Mm-hmm.
and move forward.
Something that makes you happy.
Yeah, or that even a chore. You may not like it, but it's a step. It's a step. It's that step forward always. Sweep the kitchen floor, clean the
Mm-hmm.
sink,
Yeah.
clean the window. Every day, one thing, and just to get through this time, working on that focus and that determination in all the tasks that we do.
Okay. Bring on November.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. With all the with rest, we all need it. We all need a breather.
Yeah.
Well, I really wish a beautiful November for you coming up.
Thank you, you too. I wish I was there.
Yeah. Things are definitely changing. We're coming out of this rainy season and got less cloud, a little more sun each day.
I know. And last year when I was there for my birthday. So I'll just be remembering. I went,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Well, this is really good. Is there anything that I should have asked you before we even started the call, but is there anything that you want me to, that you feel would be good for people to know that I should ask you before, just for the few months ahead?
I'm sorry you cut out.
Just
What was that?
for the few months ahead of us, is there anything that I should have asked you that would be helpful for people to know that that we didn't cover?
Oh, okay. Um,
I want to make sure that I didn't not ask you something, that you think would be helpful.
I think good things are coming for all of us, and focusing on maybe just to expand a little bit on focusing on our tasks. Set a goal. It's a good time to set some goals, whether they be financial, a new way of creating finances, or just a task. Making something even, and focus on that. You may never get to the end. The end, as you know, doesn't. It's not about the end goal or the skill, like that girl got from the tea. It's not. The skill is not as important as the skill set of determination and patience and how wise that makes us. So, yeah, any small thing that we can achieve. It's just about the small achievements that here, nothing big and great, but the small achievements, small steps we take. Because over a period of these months, those small steps are going to amount to something big for all of us. Yeah, we have to just all have a clear, happier, brighter, more positive vision for ourselves. And it'll keep us in good spirits.
That's good. I feel like small steps is good because it's something that everyone can focus on to get to where they want to be.
It is. And it takes away for those who are maybe stuck at home or feeling claustrophobic if they had this kind of task to remember to do. It doesn't matter what the task is. It's just about moving and moving forward. Right? Just stepping forward into that room and accomplishing one thing.
Yeah. That's good. That's good advice. That's good. Okay. We'll leave it there. We'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to share this.
I'm very happy when you asked me to come here.
Yeah.
Much
I love you so much. I'll call you right now. Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.